Hi, Tony DeWitt here, Missouri appellate attorney and a guy who likes to make the law make sense on YouTube. Today we are going to talk about the end of Chapter 1 of the Darrell Brooks story. So stay tuned. So yesterday, after 2 days of hearing evidence, victim impact statements, and testimony from Brooks and Brooks's witnesses, Judge Jennifer Dorrow, who was probably fully secured her little cloud in heaven after putting up with Darrell Brooks during that trial, she sentenced him to 6 consecutive life sentences without the possibility of extended supervision, which in Wisconsin speak is parole. So not only did he get 6 consecutive life sentences, he got 17 and a half years on 61 counts of reckless endangerment with a weapon. In case you don't have a calculator handy, that's 1,067.5 years of jail time for what he did. He would have to live to the ripe old age of 500 if he'd only been sentenced on those before he could get out for parole. Because that was, 1,000 years, you'd have to live 500 years to have served 50% of your sentence. And in most cases, that's what you have to do before you become eligible for parole. So this is one of those things where he will never again see the light of dawn as a free man, and that is fully appropriate here. You know, he started the day saying he was going to take the high road, but apparently the high road runs right through the insult district. He attacked the judge, he attacked the prosecutor. I'm sure you've all seen the footage. He made a complete horse's rear end out of himself. So one of the things he said is, "No one can see the regret I feel." And that's an interesting statement because it's not an apology. What it is a statement of his own regret for having gotten caught. He does not regret doing what he did. He regrets being caught and being prosecuted for it. I found it hilarious that he attacked the prosecutor, saying that his crimes were of no concern to her. Actually, that is exactly her job, and he knows that. He certainly presented the picture of a man who did not have a coherent trial strategy. Now, some of you have asked, what happens if Judge Dorrow made an error? Now, time out. Let me stop right here and say, I don't think Judge Dorrow made an error on anything in this case. I have rarely seen a judge that careful and disciplined as Judge Dorrow. But I don't think she made any errors. But what if she did? So suppose that she made an evidentiary error. In other words, an error in the admission of evidence. Maybe she admitted the rap video, and the allegation is that somehow created passion and prejudice in the eyes of the jury. And let's say that she made an error in giving some of the instructions. Maybe there was a comma or a period or something out of place in the instructions. Or maybe there's an allegation that those jury instructions created passion and prejudice in themselves. So what if she made an error in letting him represent himself? Now, all of these errors in a one-off case would be important. The reason I say that is because when you have one crime, let's say a bank robbery, and evidence gets admitted that should not get admitted, then there is a possibility that that could have impacted the decision of the jury in the absence of other factors. And in that situation, the right thing to do for an appellate court in most cases would be to reverse. But in this case, there were 6 homicides and 61 other people badly injured as a result of this guy's destructive personal behavior. And all of it was caught on videotape. So we now have to look at a doctrine in the law called harmless error. Now, in most states, the doctrine of harmless error is a doctrine of judicial creation. And basically what it allows an appellate court to do is to look at the entirety of the case from start to finish and say, the way we look at this, the fact that you admitted this one video or this one photograph or something else, that that did not affect substantial rights because all of the other evidence was very clear and it established guilt. Well, in Wisconsin, they have gone one better than the courts that just do this through the common law. They actually have it in a statute. Let's take a look at that now. Wisconsin Statute 805.18 in the Civil Procedure section says, under mistakes and omissions, harmless error, the court shall, in every stage of an action, meaning, of course, that means at the trial court level, the appellate court level, even the Supreme Court level, in every stage of an action, disregard any error or defect in the pleadings or proceedings which shall not affect the substantial rights of the adverse party. Now, they go on a little bit further to say this. No judgment shall be reversed or set aside or a new trial granted in any action or proceeding on the grounds of selection or misdirection of the jury or the improper admission of evidence or for error as to any matter of pleading or procedure unless, in the opinion of the court to which the application is made, after an examination of the entire action or proceeding, it shall appear that the error complained of has affected the substantial rights of a party seeking to reverse or set aside the judgment or to secure a new trial. So that's a pretty strong statement. And the Wisconsin statute lists the holding of two cases that apply this statute. One of them says, for an error to affect substantial rights of a party, there must be a reasonable possibility that the error contributed to the outcome of the action. And then at the very bottom, you'll see this one, which I've highlighted. Error is harmless if it is clear beyond a reasonable doubt that a rational jury would have found the defendant guilty absent the error. What does that mean? Well, it means that Judge Dorrow's careful, principled, disciplined approach to this trial, where she allowed him enough rope to do himself plenty of harm, but kept the proceedings on track, did not admit the audio from that rap video, but did admit it for the limited purpose of showing the vehicle in his possession. All of these things show a very principled judicial act of trying to keep the trial on track while not prejudicing his substantial rights. Now, you have to remember, again, the video evidence here. All of this was caught on video. The multiple witnesses that were called to trial, the police officers, the footage from the body cameras, the work of the police in running Darrell Brooks down and getting him to surrender, his flight from the scene, again, evidence of guilt, the guilty flee, the multiple different stories that he told, the multiple different approaches he took to his defense, what I would call a bipolar defense strategy. Insult the judge, then praise the judge, then insult the judge, and then try to be a good boy, and then act out whenever you don't get your way. This is not the way adults behave. It's not the way rational people behave, but it also shows a bit of cunning. And it is the cunning here that will undo Darrell Brooks at the appellate court. There is no way that an appellate court will in any way reverse the verdict of this court. You can take that one to the bank. That's my take on what might have happened if the judge had made an error. And again, I don't think she did. This is a pretty clear case. The video evidence was very clear. And I honestly think the only reason that the jury was out as long as it was is they wanted to get fed dinner for having sat through the trial that day. This was a terrible case. 6 people are dead. 61 have had their lives wrecked forever. by having to go through such a traumatic experience. The police officers, the first responders, all of the people who were there who saw the carnage, their lives are never going to be the same. Judge Dorrow did the right thing here, and she should be rewarded immensely for that. The people in Wisconsin should elevate her to the appellate court level because she has uncommonly good common sense. In fact, common sense should probably be called uncommon sense because it's so dad blasted uncommon. But I think Judge Dorrow has it in spades. So thank you very much for watching. I very much appreciate all of the comments and contributions to the channel. If you haven't already, please go over here and subscribe to our channel and touch the notification bell so that you can be notified whenever we release a video here. And as always, be kind and have a great day.